My coworker tried to ruin my career. I made sure he never worked in this industry again. I work in engineering, specifically, project management for large construction contracts. 3 years ago, I landed what I thought was my dream job, a senior role at a mid-sized but ambitious company. The pay was great, the projects were challenging, and the growth opportunities were real. I was partnered with another senior project manager named Derek. On paper, he was the perfect co-lead, 15 years of experience, charming with clients, and a reputation for getting things done. At first, we got along fine. We'd have coffee in the mornings, talk sports, even go for drinks after work. But I quickly noticed something about Derek: he didn't like competition. If someone else was getting praise, he'd find a way to downplay their contribution. The first big red flag came during our largest project of the year, a $12 million contract for a new commercial complex. It was my first time leading something of that scale, and I put in insane hours to make sure every detail was right. When the client praised our progress during a review meeting, Derek immediately said, "Well, I've been mentoring, my name, through a lot of it, so it's really a team effort." It wasn't mentoring. I was doing the bulk of the work, and he knew it. Over the next few months, Derek started forgetting to CC me on important emails, rescheduling meetings without telling me, and sometimes outright taking credit for my work in front of management. I started documenting everything, dates, times, and details, just in case. 6 months in, things got ugly. The CEO announced that the company would be opening a new regional office, and they were looking for someone to run it. It was a career-making opportunity, higher pay, more autonomy, and a huge prestige boost. I knew I was a strong contender, until Derek made his move. One Monday morning, I was called into HR. Sitting there were the HR manager, my boss, and, surprise, Derek. He had filed a formal complaint against me, claiming I had missed critical deadlines, false. Submitted flawed reports, false. Been unprofessional with clients, absolutely false. He'd even printed fake email evidence where he'd altered dates and details to make it look like I was neglecting my work. It was surreal. I couldn't believe someone I worked so closely with was willing to fabricate an entire narrative to kill my career. They suspended me with pay while they investigated. Most people would panic, but I remembered something. I had been quietly backing up every work email, every meeting note, every deliverable, both on my personal encrypted drive and on a physical external hard drive at home. I also knew Derek's ego was his weak point. He couldn't resist bragging when he thought he was winning. So I reached out to a mutual acquaintance, someone Derek trusted but who had no love for him, and explained the situation. This acquaintance casually asked Derek about the complaint during after-work drinks. According to my source, Derek said, "Once my name is gone, that regional director role is mine. They won't even look at anyone else." And here's where his arrogance became my weapon. Over the next 2 weeks, I compiled a timeline of every project I'd worked on with verifiable deliverables and timestamps. Matched each alleged missed deadline with proof that I'd submitted work on time. Collected Slack messages where Derek literally thanked me for finishing tasks he later claimed I didn't do. Obtained server logs proving Derek had altered the metadata on documents, which meant tampering. The final nail? I got a copy of the original client meeting recordings. Our meetings were auto-recorded for notes that directly contradicted Derek's claims of client dissatisfaction. In fact, the client praised me by name. When the investigation hearing came around, I walked into that conference room with a calmness that surprised even me. Derek looked smug, clearly expecting me to crumble. HR started with his complaints. Then it was my turn. I laid out the evidence in chronological order. Every claim he made, I had hard proof to debunk. The Slack messages. The server logs. The client recordings. And finally, the metadata tampering, which was a direct violation of company policy and could be considered corporate fraud. By the time I was done, Derek's face had gone from cocky to pale. The decision came 2 days later. My record was cleared completely. I was given a formal apology from management. Derek? Terminated on the spot for gross misconduct and data manipulation. But I wasn't done. Derek had spent 15 years in this industry. Reputation is everything here, and word spreads fast. I sent a concise, factual summary of the HR findings to several key contacts in our professional network. No editorializing, no insults, just the facts. Within a month, no one would touch him. His LinkedIn went dark. Rumor has it he tried freelancing, but clients Googled his name and found just enough whispers to walk away. Meanwhile, I was offered the regional director position. I took it. Higher pay, my own office, and the satisfaction of knowing that Derek's little power grab ended his entire career. Sometimes, people tell me I went too far. That I should have just cleared my name and moved on. But the truth is, if Derek had succeeded, my career would have been over. I'd have been branded as unreliable and unprofessional. He came for my livelihood. I made sure he lost his. And I don't regret it for a second.